Sorry I'm late, I just don't give a
Hey, yo. You rocking with the best known unknown podcast on the internet. It's Late to Work, as always, now live with episode number 23.
Yeah,
Jordan, baby.
23. Yeah.
Jump in. A lot more jump in.
I should put my red 11s. They still in the box. I should put it on the table for this episode.
You know, I ain't gonna lie. Like, it's funny because I'm a well-versed sneakerhead for a nigga with no sneakers.
What?
You know what I mean? Like, I got a lot of friends with sneakerheads. My sneaker knowledge is like pretty on point. I own literally like 12 pairs of shoes, period.
Yeah.
I got like 3 pairs of dress shoes, 3 pairs of boots, 6 pairs of sneakers, cleats or running shoes or whatever. Anyway, I said I'd say it is episode 23, making progress in this bitch, Jumpman episode. Also want to salute all of our fans out there, made it to 1,000 career listens. So that's not so bad, 23 episodes. We look to making 2,000 and less than 23 more episodes. But as always, it's your boy Money Mitch, rocking here with Light Skin Lear, aka the Mixed Messiah, aka Daddy Longstroke, aka the motherfucking Clitoris Wrangler, aka the Light Skin Lord of the Flies, aka the Dreadhead Nigga in your lobby, aka at Mitch Gaines, where you can find me on all your social media, wherever you prefer to be, at Mitch Gaines with a Y, because I'm a little bit gay. I'm here rocking with my right hand man, the funniest man in Rhode Island. As always, it's
only Chris Allen, man. Midwest half to Midwest best. Depends how you met me. Sweet James Jones Jr. And it's my birthday.
How was your birthday? I forgot.
My birthday was on Friday, so I'm officially the young OG.
The young OG. Have we talked about how old you are on this podcast? Do people know, for reference?
I think we mentioned I was 33.
So you just turned 34 or you turned 30? Okay.
I turned 34.
I couldn't remember, honestly, if you were turning 33 or 34.
No.
Sorry, I didn't mean to age you.
Age is like, for guys, this is the thing. Guys don't worry about age. Like, guys age very well.
Yeah, we get it.
In our state goes up as we get older. Look at look at the celebrities. I told this girl this weekend, I was like, I'm going for the George Clooney, man. I'm Gucci with the Black George Clooney. That's gonna be my another AKA, Black George Clooney, because like I'm gonna let the salt and pepper go, and I'm ready to rock, man.
Yeah, you just have to marry a woman who's like way more important than you, but still also flex harder than everybody in the world, but also be the best person ever. I mean, no pressure.
No, I just, dude. All I gotta, I'm okay marrying at like 40 with like a girl that's like 32. Even 28. George Clooney's.
Actually, no. Let me ask you this: is that like a lock for you? Because obviously you're just turning 34. Like, you're not trying to do kids soon. I get the impression. So like, would you have to like guaranteed like marry a much younger woman, or would you be cool like marrying a woman like your own age down the line and then figuring that shit out?
You know how I am with boxes.
We're getting real personal with Chris to start this episode.
It really wouldn't matter to me. I mean, for the sake of kids, it would be ideal that they be, at least like around like the 30s area. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not gonna let, like, if I was really, and it's hard for me to connect long term with women that I have to spend a lot of time with. So like, if I had that connection and I was like, yo, this is like something special, then I wouldn't. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't be in that. We'd figure it out. We'd adopt or something like that. I just don't give a shit about that shit.
No, I mean, I feel very much the same way. Even if I found the right person, it's like, I'm not trying to do the kids thing anytime soon. So if like by the time the kids thing is the right thing to do, then like we'll figure that out. Whatever the way to do that then is. Until then, like, I have my ideas of how I'd like it to go. I don't know that it's gonna go that way. Most of my life hasn't. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
I mean, it'll roll how it rolls, man. I think I will probably end up with someone younger.
Yeah.
But
that seems your speed.
Yeah.
Also,
dude, did you say? Oh, speaking of age, like there was like this big thing on the internet about what's the one girl who does she always dances. She has this talk show, Ellen.
Yeah.
Guess how old she is.
Oh, Ellen's old, bro. I had no idea. But she's like 60.
No, she just turned 60.
60, okay, yeah.
Which I'm like, dude, like...
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
I
like,
could not.
I only react like somebody, like, we had this conversation not that long ago, and like somebody had asked me that, and I said, like, 42.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I thought Ellen was like a young lady.
She looks good.
Yeah, she looks incredible.
That's the James you want.
Yeah, well, that's what getting the nutrients will do.
Yeah, that's that rich. She's rich. Someone had a joke. She's like
rich.
She's rich 60.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, come on. That's like Jane Fonda 80, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And her and fucking Megyn Kelly going at it. Anyway, since we're debating families and children and shit, let's go to our family values topic of the day. The homie Trump, man. Everyone bugging out because Trump fucked a porn star. Mm-hmm. Well, more specifically because Trump hired a porn star and then was mad creepy about how he went about, like, I don't roll in the world where you hire porn stars often. Yeah. I do have a handful of stories of friends of mine hiring porn stars, like legitimate porn stars. And it's it's definitely a thing, but it's also like, they know the deal. Like, you've paid up front. You know what I mean? It's not like you're not gonna get laid. And so his whole like routine of like faux courtship and like showmanship to try and like prove that he's like worth like it without the money sort of thing is so uncomfortable. It's so cringeworthy. But like, other than that, like, why are people freaking out over this?
I think the only reason...
Isn't that the guy he bragged about being?
I think the only reason people are freaking out about this is because... A couple reasons. One is because Melania was just recently had his son, and he's pretty much hiring a sex worker, like, while his wife's probably laid up somewhere, and it's kind of a scummy thing to do. And the only reason why that's a scummy thing to do for him is because he portrayed himself as this, like, now, just Christian guy, and he's playing the whole right wing.
My question is, like, to who did he supposedly portray that to? He paid out some lip service, but to say like Donald Trump has portrayed some sort of Christian values is to say the same thing as Donald Trump like portrayed his understanding of the black community because he showed up to like one meeting and like said black people should vote for him. Like he walked over to some Christian people, shook some hands, kissed some babies, and said, "I'm gonna take care of you."
No, he did more than that. He was like trying to like quote Bible scriptures terribly.
But that's what I mean. Like, it was completely unbelievable.
It was it was an attempt. But
for 20 years prior, he claimed to be a playboy. Yeah. And a mogul.
But here's the thing.
And the type of guy who would openly talk about fucking other bitches.
But do people even really care? I don't think people really care.
That's my point. It's like, we shouldn't care first and foremost. Like, I genuinely believe that so long as there wasn't anything in the realm of assault, and so long as there was some understanding, which seems to be between him and his wife, because it seemed to be pretty public that he was at least cheating for a long time. I don't get why this is anything to shame somebody for. Like, people are entitled to have their sex lives. I don't care if that involves you getting spanked with a Forbes magazine, like, or getting peed on. Like, the pee tape everybody wants to bring up. Like, I don't get, like, that's gross to me. But like, you're entitled to that. Like, whatever. Now there's the Russian money side of that that makes that whole dossier situation a whole other complication. But that's what I mean. People get so tied up in like the embarrassment factor, and I don't get why.
Well, okay, because I think that we live in a whole different world than the traditional American does. The traditional American that is waking up and taking their kids to school and coming to pick them up and going to PTA. They're under this fake American, all Christian moral compass that they displayed, and they feel like that's what America should be. I know what you're gonna say. They're hypocrites because I'm sure they got some shit in their closet, and I agree with that. But still, that is how your average American wants to portray America. And when your leader is having sex with a porn star, which is not PC in the eyes of, I would say, 75% of American in the public eye. Hold on,
can I jump in there on one real quick?
Oh, go ahead.
Do you think it's those people who are the ones freaking out about this? Because the people I see freaking out about this are like the free sex and like lovey-dovey liberals who are like far left and think that we should all be super sex positive, and now all of a sudden like you hiring a sex worker means you're like unqualified to be president. And I just think that's bullshit. Like, there's plenty of things to hate about Trump. I am on board for 90% of them.
Yeah.
You're not gonna sit here and tell me like he spent a couple grand to fuck a porn star because like he's a scummy, gross dude, and that's how he tries to get laid is by flexing his money. Like, we didn't already know that. Like, that wasn't the Trump brand. The nigga puts his name in gold on everything he owns and walks around talking about his dick from a podium. If you didn't think this is exactly how he behaved behind closed doors, I don't know what the fuck you're watching.
Well, I mean, you highlight one of the biggest issues that I have with liberals right now is that they're fucking hypocrites. Right. And they have attacked everything. They refuse to just.
I also don't know when I became the right wing guy on this podcast.
Well, no, I think I can identify with either side at this point because the liberals are doing some crazy shit that with like. I mean, they're eating themselves at both ends, and it's like you can't criticize. You got to play it straight down the line, even if that means that like you defend your enemies. Yeah. And if they're unwilling to do that, then they're hypocrites, and that takes credibility away from anything else they say.
Well, and it's one of those things we get to in a lot of these conversations. I always feel like I run into this wall where it's like, where is the line between? We had an episode, I don't know, like 10 episodes ago, we were talking about after the Boston rally, the idea of black separationism, right? And I feel whether you're talking about the black community, whether you're talking about the queer community, whether you're talking about the left versus the right, there's this ideology of like, well, we just need our own space with just our people. Like, that's a good idea. Like, insular thinking and like just repetitive speech and hatred of others has never been a good idea at any point throughout history, and there's never been the way forward. No. The way forward is to be selective about those that you're inviting in and like, you know, coach them to be better ambassadors in their own world, to not hate you so much, and in turn you start to love them, and there's some exchange of ideas and culture and identity, right? Like, that's the hope. And there's just very little investment in that, I feel, now. And that's fucking gross to me. Like, all of a sudden, like, we're willing, like, to just look at this situation and it's like, oh, well, Donald Trump got his physical back, let's shame him about his weight. Donald Trump, like, supposedly hired a sex worker, like, let's shame him for that. It's like, bro, like, y'all realize the left is the party that like buses prostitutes to the polls, right? Yeah. Which I'm for. I'm a pretty sex positive guy in general. That's why I don't understand like the shitting on him for that. And I don't know. That just really rubbed me the wrong way. Like, do better, lefties. Like, I'm here with y'all.
Call it down the line. Now, if they were saying that he's a scumbag because, you know, he's cheating on his wife who was just had his son at the time, and that's a scummy thing to do, then like,
yeah, I mean,
it's kind of scummy.
I would agree with that. I am not the moral values guy by any means, any stretch of the imagination.
Depending on whatever their relationship is, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're like. I feel like we keep coming back to this same thing. It's like, it's a matter of timing, right? Yeah. Like, I feel like I don't. I'm over like defending Trump in general, but like, I have to look at that and just be like, what are you thinking? like 4 months, bro. Yeah. She just had a child. Yeah. She just extended the lifeblood of your family. Yeah. And you're just like, not like, it's not like y'all was out somewhere, like I met somebody, it's been a while, blah blah blah. No. It's, I called somebody up, I paid an absurd amount, or I hope so. I didn't even see how much he paid her.
It couldn't be that much. It couldn't.
I hope it was a good bag. I hope Stormy Daniels like at least charged double.
I can't imagine it being more than like $5,000.
Yeah, that's about that. The number I was like 4 to 5.
I think that's about a scene bag for her. So she's like, all right.
So I'll tell you the one person I ever knew who hired a porn star, not a prostitute, like a legitimate porn star, adult actor. I think he told me, I was surprised by the price. It was like $2,500. Yeah. And this dude is like A-list. Like I can't say the name on here because like it's like legitimate. Yeah. Yeah, I'm stunned at how low that tag is, I guess.
I mean, you can be you're about
porn's gone to shitter. That's all I'm saying. Is like in 1995, think about when niggas were showing up. Like Jen Jameson, was getting 100K for a walkthrough.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, like women are actually, or men are actually like sleeping with you for $3,000.
Yeah.
Who are like on the movies that you're jerking off to. Yeah. That's crazy how like normalized porn. I don't know. Sorry. This is very tangential. Off topic.
Yeah.
my point is like everything about that just speaks to the Trumpian nature of the current world, I guess.
Yeah.
Nothing of that should surprise you. And in a world where we're trying to be more sex positive, that's not something you can shame somebody for anymore, in my opinion.
And then you have to shit on JFK.
Yeah, you have to shit on JFK, you have to shit on Clinton.
Yeah. I was gonna say Clinton, but they did kind of shit on Clinton.
Later.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we went to bat for Clinton while he was still there. Yeah. Like once he left office, then like I think the move was shit on Bill so that Hillary could have a clean slate. Yeah. And that really backfired down the line. I feel like that was gonna work for her to get into office in 2008. By 2016, that shit wasn't flying anymore.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Anyway, I guess transition away from... Oh, can I just also say for our viewers, I have no idea if this is accurate or not, but one of the stories I read about the whole fucking Stormy Daniels thing is Trump getting spanked with a Forbes magazine. Now, again, I'm not here to shame anyone, but the irony of him getting spanked with a Forbes magazine. I know. Now, here's where that goes from irony to dark. Yeah. Supposedly, this is an issue of Forbes magazine that had Ivanka on the cover.
Wow, that is weird. That's
beyond weird, bro.
Yeah.
Because how old's Ivanka at that time? 23?
Yeah.
Maybe?
I don't know.
Was she 40 now, right? Some shit?
Yeah, she's like 40.
Yeah, so she's like in her early 20s?
Yeah.
That's just fucking weird.
He's a weird guy. And
again, not shaming people, but incest is where I kind of draw the line.
A little bit of salt on that.
A lot of salt on that one. Real salty. Anyway, transition away from Trump fucking porn stars to other porn related stories. Sorry for anyone of highbrow society who's listening to the first 25 minutes of this podcast.
Look, porn's a part of our culture. People need to stop hiding it. Everyone watches porn.
We can start there, honestly, before. So the headline, I guess, that we should start out with is there's been 5 different porn stars who died in the past 3 months. I got the time on that accurately. And a litany of causes from internal issues with
she had a UTI
that kind of then turned into a what's the name of the disease?
A cesspit. I guess it's like when you get an infection and then your body starts to attack your organs and shit. I'm no doctor. I do a podcast, nigga. Right.
But that shit's terrifying. Another woman hung herself from being cyberbullied. And so there's a lot of different...
August Ames.
Sorry, I shouldn't just say one. August Ames.
She was beautiful. I'm going to pull up a picture of her while
I feel like that you can't do that with a porn. You can't just be like... maybe I'm not gonna draw the lines of morality. Anyway, my point is,
should I not pull up a picture of her? It's gonna be PG.
Fair. I get porn is like that grayest area of our conscience where we don't really want to acknowledge all the dangers that come with it. Wow, she is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like a porn star way, just in like a pretty person.
Yeah. She's just
Also, I'm pretty sure one of my roommates follows her on Instagram, so that's creepy as fuck now.
Dude, I followed her on Instagram. So you guys can see that? She's
my man really just pulled up the deviant art to put up on the YouTube channel. Anyway, she's dead, my nigga.
They should know what she looks like. She's beautiful. Is that disgraceful? How's that? Is that bad? I don't know.
I feel like that's bad.
I don't know.
Cast in your votes. Is this bad or not?
Yeah, please let me know. I feel like if Marilyn, I would put up Marilyn Monroe and say the same thing. Like Marilyn Monroe's dead. She's beautiful.
Fair enough. Anyway, I guess. Do you think? We'll start here. Is this a coincidence?
No, I don't think
they don't seem like related causes.
There's not related causes, but we can talk about. We can talk about an industry with a lot of pressure and in a lot of things can get wrong. There's no. Is there a coincidence that rock stars end up dying early sometimes?
Yeah, and so
no, it's a lifestyle, man, and it's a lifestyle that like you can now one or two was a drug overdose, one was a suicide, another one was a UTI infection.
Essentially, they were all occupational hazard deaths.
Yeah, man.
Now
along with some other things.
So here's my question to you then is like, knowing that and accepting that as part of the lifestyle, why do we shame people like that so much? Because we just exasperate that, right? Like, and this is true of even like rock stars. We always like, you're never gonna make it. Like, why are you wasting your time? Go get a real job. Like, why don't you go to like, you're beating the shit out of them until they make it. It's very much the same with porn, where like you ain't shit until like you're Jenna, right? Yeah. And just like as a rock star, you ain't shit till you're Bruno Mars or whoever the fuck he's trying to be. I should call him a rock star. Rock people will get mad at me, but you get my point. It's like,
and I think there's compound factors. I don't believe that you approach certain things, industries, whether it's if you're a rock star, it's usually you're overcompensating for some kind of attention that you did not get, or there's usually those industries usually have patterns of people who are attracted to those industries. Porn stars, it's usually, unfortunately, not always, but you see a large amount of young women who have troubled pasts.
Yeah, I guess my point is, why do you shame? Why do we shame people?
Why do we shame people for that? Yeah, I mean, that is just, it goes back to like this lie that we as Americans are living, that this is not an industry that we all have contributed to in one way or another, whether it's going online and jerking off to it, or following them on Instagram and Twitter, and like you
follow porn stars on Twitter?
No. Oh yeah, I probably do actually. I probably do. I don't know. I like beautiful women.
I follow one, and what's funny is I followed her before she was a porn star.
Oh, word?
She followed me randomly, some chick from the UK. I have no idea who she is. And then when we followed each other when we were like in high school, and then like years later, I went to go like look her up on Twitter, and she was like a porn star. Yeah. And like she still followed me. I still followed her back, and I was like, her vagina has its own Twitter now.
Oh, dude,
it was fucking wild.
Yeah, I do. I follow girls who like
crazy,
like randomly on Instagram, and then I've seen them transition into porn.
I thought you were gonna say transition.
No,
women.
And then I've seen, and this is interesting. It's almost like I'm not like following them to be a creep. I mean, like I follow what's the Indian girl who like
Mia Khalifa?
Yeah, I follow her. So like, yeah, but it's not like she doesn't even.
You're so
like,
basic sometimes.
Well, I just think it's entertaining that like sometimes she'll be like calling out athletes and shit like that. Like I think it's just funny. I'm just a people watcher, man. Like I am a habitual. It's a problem. Like I just want to see. Like I follow.
My nigga just wants to watch.
Yeah, I just want to watch the show. I don't comment on it. I don't speak. I just want to see like, hey. It's like, what do you call those people who just study society and like human beings?
Sociologists?
No, it's an
anthropologist.
Yeah, so I'm just an anthropologist. Right. I'm just a couch. I'm just an armchair
anthropologist. We're about to rename this podcast. The armchair, but these two chairs with no arms.
Yeah.
So okay.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think these are related?
I could sit here and talk about porn for 20 episodes. I'm fascinated with what porn does to our society, how we enjoy it, how do we talk about it. It's such a weird thing to me. I'll say this: I never think waves of death in the porn industry are like circumstantial. I never believe that's just like coincidence or whatever. I'm always heartbroken when I hear the stories of suicide, especially of like the being bullied in suicide. This is a particularly weird case where apparently, from what I'm reading, she was bullied online for refusing to have sex with men who'd had sex with other men. As a queer man, I do agree that's kind of homophobic. On the other hand, as somebody who believes in your right to choose who you fuck, you can say no to whoever for whatever reason. Like, nobody is supposed to take that. Like, you don't get to bully me because I didn't fuck the person you wanted me to fuck.
Yeah.
Period. I don't care how fucked up my reasons are. So I don't know. I'm very torn on that. That's
it is
really shitty. That's the reason she ended up killing herself. And I think one of the things that's not getting addressed in the porn industry, I guess, if we're gonna spend 4 or 5 minutes talking about this for any reason, is that everyone always talks about these actors and actresses needing to get resources to mental health, right? And getting to see better psychiatrists and therapists, etc. No one ever really puts in perspective how hard it is to find therapists who want to work with that population. And that really, to me, gets to the core of the issue. Is the biggest stress and the biggest anxiety of most people I've known who work in porn is the shame that they feel from society around them. And what is more shameful than trying to go seek help for the emotional beating that you're taking from playing these roles, and also then wearing that shame publicly, and then seeking that help and having those people say, no, I refuse to help people like you. You're beyond help. You're disgusting. That is so fucked up to me. I've gone in search of many a therapist and many a psychiatrist in my time, and some good, some bad, some horrific, some amazing. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever had anyone outright refuse to try and help me. Even if what they tried to do is the wrong thing, I've never seen that in my face like that, and that shit happens every day to people in porn. And that's wicked fucked up. And I think whether that's mental doctors or physical doctors, where especially while you're in the industry, there's lots of ways to get tested and see decent healthcare and all that, especially out in major areas of studios. But then once you're out of the industry, it's dude, your body needs to be treated in a whole different manner. It's been through a much different life than others.
Got a lot more miles in that car.
in certain areas, what I mean? But that is no different than somebody who ran marathons their whole life, right? If you ran marathons for 20 years, your legs would be a lot fucking different than mine. Just like if you fucked 9,000 people, your genitals will be a lot different than mine. I'm not a lot different. I'm getting up there and I was high. Daddy Longstroke. Flex on them. But no, that's my point. Is you can't. At some point, you have to. I guess I was having this conversation with somebody about a whole different topic, about the idea of justice, right? And the idea of justice in a lot of people's eyes is that you're impartial, that you remove all bias. And it dawned on me, and this is some hippie shit to say or whatever, and strike this as a point for the people who smoke weed and drop acid or whatever. But it's justice isn't about being impartial; it's about being biased in favor of all. You know what I mean? It's about figuring out what is best for all of the parties involved and all of the ones who may be tangentially involved. Not about removing yourself entirely, but about figuring out the best solution. That's justice. And I guess porn is such a glaring example of where we just refuse to be just. We take these human beings, use them for what we want, live out our darkest fantasies with them, and then cast them aside to die.
I don't even think they're dark fantasy. I think they're human fantasies, and you live through these people. And
all right, let me ask you a litmus test before we get into the dark fantasy debate. Then what do you consider a sketchy side of the internet porn site? When you think darker porn,
I think
because some people I agree with you. Stuff you're gonna find the Pornhubs and the YouTubes of the world is not dark fantasy stuff. But you get to the e-fucks of the world and beyond, and shit gets fucking weird.
That stuff gets weird. But those aren't. I mean. I don't spend too much time. That's what
I mean. But people do. They get millions of views. The motherlesses of the world.
I think, but those are niches. I think your average viewer of porn is probably just watching.
XNXX.
RedTube and shit like that. And I think that they are satisfying.
Then again, keep in mind there are tens of millions of people who comment on porn videos. So there's a side of the porn consumer that I am out of touch with. Exactly. I do not understand.
They got a whole I think Ari Shaffir or someone said a funny ass joke about the stages you had to do in order to comment on the porn site and shit like that. It's fucking hilarious. But it is. I mean. these are the same people who are watching this shit are the same people who are abusing, verbally abusing these people on Twitter and on Instagram and like shaming them. And we live in a world full of hypocrites. And
what amazes me is the industry that is shame porn. Like there's porn, and this goes both ways. And I'd seen shame porn where like dudes are crazy like sadists and like torture porn and shit like that, which is wild to me. I didn't realize the reverse of that was also so popular for women. Mm-hmm. I've seen so many videos of women just like torturing men. And like on both sides, it's like a very huge genre. And what is the appeal? And I don't know, the whole thing's fucking weird. Anyway, I say all that to say, if you're going to expect people to take on those roles for you, to take on those fantasies, to role play in that way, to bring you that satisfaction, I have no problem with that. Everybody's got their own kinks, everybody's got their own fantasies. Lord knows for all the ones I just shitted on, I've got 20 others that are probably just as weird. The point is, if you're going to want that in the world, then you have to take care of and treat those people as human beings. Yeah. And I feel like until we do that, we're just gonna have more Olivias, more Augustus, more Turries, more Shilohs. I think it's a damn shame.
I think it's a hierarchy thing. Like I think people like to shame them and keep them underneath this dark cloud in order to prevent like their daughters or their nieces and shit from, I don't want you doing that, and so they shame them in front of this. It becomes a compound effect that like even you think about like high school girls, like as soon as they sleep, they find out that they slept with like more than like 2 or 3 guys. Oh, you slut. Oh yeah, you slut.
2 or 3, dog. Like you lost your virginity. Done.
Yeah. Oh,
you fucking whore. Like
yeah, exactly.
It's insane.
It is. So and then there's a compound effect. Like so you're reinforcing those these negative opinions, and then now this is so if you do end up going into porn or becoming an adult actress now
day one you start to make the decision that you think the rest of your life is over. And I want that to be done with. You should be able to do porn and then have another life.
Yeah,
that shouldn't be crazy, and especially with the rise of amateur porn, I don't understand why that's such a problem. You always hear these stories like, this teacher, was found out to have made a sex tape with, who cares?
I have a huge problem with that. Like,
your EMT that saved your life sucked a dick on camera once. Oh my God, you're right. She shouldn't have saved you. Yeah. Let your judgmental ass die.
I mean, even when we said like, I don't feel like. When we talked about people like being young, making decisions, and they put them in jail for like 20 years and shit like that. I know, regardless of what decision, let's say like, I don't think that you can make decisions when you're like 20 and like 20, even 25, that should follow you the rest of your life and prevent you from doing. People change, and even if you like, if you're teaching and like most of the parents think negatively of porn, well, like that's a whole different person 10 years down the line, But
I always tell people, like, if you're over the age of 30, look back 8 years ago and tell me if you were anything remotely close to the same person.
Yeah, no.
There's 2 choices there. Either A, the answer is yes, and you're the most boring human being who's ever lived, and you should have died 7 years ago, or the answer is no. Simple as that. So stop judging other fucking people. While we're talking about judging people and talking shit and shaming people, Scarlett Johansson throwing a lot of shade James Franco's way. Yeah. Deserved, undeserved?
I don't know yet. I haven't heard the full story of James, and no one has just came out and just everyone's talking around his accusation.
Were you up on the story that broke with him a couple of years ago? Not the recent shit?
Oh, like with the 16 year I forget how old she was. But yeah, that was a little creepy. But did he try to do something, or he did? I
mean, he knew she was underage and invited her back to the telly.
Yeah, that's creepy. That's creepy.
I mean, she didn't go and then posted the screenshots, so that's how we know about it. Yeah. But like, I feel fairly confident that if she went,
We don't know.
We're at least getting an Aziz type story.
We have to play this down the line. We can't. Yes, that was creepy. His action was creepy.
But fair. I'll wave the pass flag.
Yeah, we have to be like, all right, well, like, it didn't happen. We don't know what he would have done, so we can't assume. But on the accusations, so like, all right, you go ahead.
Let me. So with that being our official stance, then we'll start it from there. You can't. So this is something I want to talk about with the Aziz thing. Let me get this off my chest for a second. I felt like our conversation last week centered around a topic or around a fixed point that we've always had this conversation about sexual crimes on. And I think that's the operative word, is crimes. And I am very happy and very thankful that now we're moving past that to a conversation about sexual normality and what should consent be and what should be the new regular. You know what I mean? And that's an important discussion all on its own. But I think something that got lost was the Aziz story was maybe the story that started to finally cross over for us. And I felt like we covered that very much through the lens of, well, is this a crime or isn't it? And I think a lot of people came to the same conclusion, which is either no or maybe or I don't want to touch this. Not a lot of people hard yesing that, and I'll let that speak for itself. But I think we covered it mainly through that lens, and I'm happy we're seeing things bigger than that, and I apologize to our listeners for not having a more well-rounded view on that subject. Now, with that off my chest, and coming from where we're coming from with Franco, fine. Whatever that was with that 16-year-old girl, I don't know if that was a crime. I know it was a little weird, but I'm going to give him the pass. This is the quote that got pulled here from Scarlett Johansson's speech on him that I really liked. My mind baffles. How could a person publicly stand by an organization that helps to provide support for victims of sexual assault while privately preying on people who have no power? That's speaking pretty bluntly to the point. That's her at the Women's March in LA. She follows that up with, sips tea. I want my pin back, by the way. Bars.
Yeah, she just some bars.
Bars. ScarJo got bars. I say all I have to say. I feel like she sums it up perfectly. Like, I'm not gonna name your name. I'm not gonna call you a criminal. I'm not even gonna say what you did or did not do. But you really can't be out here with my pen on trying to say that you part of this movement and not even address the shit that's been talked about, you my nigga. But only to say, I have my own side of the story, but I believe too much in the movement for me to say anything. Like, get the fuck out of here, nigga.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
You tell me. So we love playing devil's advocate here. What should James Franco's move here be? Because I think he's playing it the right way for himself.
Yeah, he's playing it the right way. I think it's definitely uncawesome right now. And he hasn't said anything. I think he's waiting for any accusations to come out detailing any situation he's been on. He said that he had a side of this story, I guess. So that means in my head that he has at least one in particular situation where things went weird. And that he knows about.
That he feels comfortable calling weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just can't until like a woman stands up and lays it all out, and he can she can present some kind of evidence or at least just state what happened, why it was troubling, and he can give his side of it. I can't give an opinion based on just statements, and I can say that, hey, there's just a little bit of smoke, and what they say about smoke. But I can't condemn this person.
Nobody wants it for free, nigga.
Yeah, no one
want this smoke.
Well, I can't condemn him until someone stands up and says what happened.
Yeah, Franco's. He's again. I said this about Aziz last week. He's firmly in that territory of. Cool. I like his work.
Yeah,
I like his stuff.
do like his work.
I would never introduce him to a woman I was particularly respected.
Yeah.
Or liked,
he's definitely about. on my list of not inviting him to. I can't hang with him.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know him. I can't.
I shouldn't make. You're right. I shouldn't make that judgment by him. But I'll tell you. Andrew Schultz, who's like a fucking famed contrarian at this point, because dude is just off the walls on some shit. One of the points he likes to make redundantly about the Aziz thing is essentially, she keeps pushing him off, they kind of chill out, and then he keeps trying again, right? And the analogy he makes is, well, it's like a waiter. If you're in the restaurant, he's gonna come by, you're gonna say, no, I'm good for now. He's gonna come back in a few minutes and ask again. Yeah. And if you don't want any food, then get the fuck out of the restaurant. Now, I guess my question is, why are you treating a date like food? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's the shit that, like, how long are we allowing, like, to your point, like, yeah, I'm not introducing any of my female friends to the James Francos or the Azizes of the world or the Andrew Schultzes of the world. And to his own credit, when he said, like, you almost know that with guys like that. Somebody had said, if this story that broke about Aziz breaks about Dane Cook 5 years ago, does anyone, like, you'd be like, yeah, of course, it's Dane Cook. What'd you think was going to happen when you went to Dane Cook's apartment? Yeah. And that was the line for dude behavior in general. And now there's like this multiple pools of dudes where there's like the Andrew Schultzes of the world, where it's like, you kind of look at the girl like, you went to like the Schultzes apartment? Like, what were you thinking? Like, how that's going to go down. Here's the Aziz is like, I can't believe he'd do that. I thought he was a better guy than that. Yeah. And then you'd have some people where you're like genuinely blown away. Yeah. Like, if you found out like Derek Jeter was really like beating the shit out of women all these times.
Or Drake.
That would be. I couldn't believe that.
I couldn't believe that. Not champagne.
It would take me a lot to believe that Drake was doing anything like wild brazy.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I'm trying, because we make a lot of assumptions on this, and we condemn a lot of people without judge or jury, and so I'm trying to prevent myself from doing that. So the only thing I can say about this, because I wouldn't want anyone to do it on me, and I'm guarantee if I ever reach that status, there's probably gonna be some times that some people say I take some crazy shit, and some people gonna take it wrong. I want the benefit of the doubt. If you're this girl or women, come out, say what happened, and let James rebuttal. And until then, I gotta reserve my.
I will say, I'm sure the story's already out and we're just ignorant and missed it. I'm sure.
No, the only thing I've heard that was like weird was like some of the, like, his acting course he was making, like some of the. It was weird. Some of the girls like, he's making us get naked, and
I heard he would like flip out on set when girls would like refuse to take their tops off and shit. He was like kind of a maniac on some shit. That's what I mean. Like, not so but like in a workplace, that's criminal.
Okay, but here's like, I was listening to another podcast from an actor, and he was saying that like, no, that's an actor. That's an acting class thing. Like, everyone knows when you take acting class, no matter where it's at, you have to get naked. It's just one of the parts about being comfortable, embracing whatever your nakedness, your vulnerability. It's like it's part of everything.
I mean, that makes sense for the acting class thing. Maybe the story I heard was like on set on a movie he was like helping direct, and him like losing his shit because he tried to essentially rewrite a scene to be a topless scene, and these actresses were like, nah.
Yeah, but I heard it was like he was casting for like a stripper role. Yeah, I don't see. This is the thing.
That's what I mean. I don't.
We need some.
My point is, I think there are stories out there. Just none of them are in a reputable enough source that enough people are picking it up that it's verifiable.
Yeah,
for sure. Especially in this climate. I don't know. I don't have much more on the Franco thing.
I think that's
TBD, I guess.
Yeah, but come forward, man.
Yeah, I hope you don't suck as much as we think. Do you want to? Okay, no, we'll get back to that. Let's go to MoNique, because I'm really intrigued by this story.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're our resident professional comic, our funniest man in Rhode Island. Only Chris Allen, if you were looking for him on the internet, in case y'all don't know. MoNique called for a boycott of Netflix. Like, first off, all right, let's get this out of the way. Nobody's boycotting Netflix, though.
No one's boycotting.
They have too much great content for too many different types of people that you won't find anywhere else. So
unless Chappelle boycotts Netflix,
Chappelle wasn't on Netflix for 10 years.
Yeah.
All I know is if Chappelle boycotted Netflix, all I know is I get $21 million comedians, and they'd probably find me some pretty good $1 million comedians.
Yeah, true.
So I'm okay with that, because apparently, according to Netflix, MoNique is a $500,000 comedian, and I think MoNique's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah,
I like MoNique a lot.
I don't think here's the problem. I don't think about MoNique.
Yeah,
so you told me that like MoNique has a special coming out on Netflix. I'll be like, oh, okay,
right.
I probably not gonna even watch it unless someone was like, this was fucking hilarious, and then I'd be like, okay, I guess I'll watch it.
But let me tilt this way so you can't see it. Do you know how much Rock and Chappelle got for their Netflix specials?
Chappelle got like 50 mil. I'm assuming that Rock got about the same 40 to 50 range.
And so what percentage of that, like relative audience, right? Like MoNique to say Chappelle, like their relative audience, like how much would you pay MoNique if you're Netflix?
I'm not sure. I would probably $500,000.
See, for the record, Rock and Chappelle got $20 million per special. So throughout the deal, I think Chappelle ends up making 80.
Yeah,
and Rock's good. I don't know how many he's doing. Whatever. They're both getting fucking cake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My point is, I don't. There's a lot of places, and I should point out, so we're not just comparing fucking black comedians to black comedians and making it like that sort of thing. Should also point out that Amy Schumer was offered $11 million and then negotiated it to 13, and I think that's maybe a more apt comparison. But I want to start with Rock and Chappelle. You're a comedian. Maybe I'm out of line saying this as a fan, and I just don't understand the nuances of comedy well enough. So you tell me. Would you ever in a million fucking years put MoNique in the same conversation as Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle?
No, not even in this.
Could you name 4 other comics you would even put in that fucking conversation who are alive and working? Now that Louis C.K. is probably not working anymore.
I have to say Louis C.K.
If he still works again.
If Louis C.K.'s next stand-up special, I say Louis C.K. will have next.
I should point out his last stand-up wasn't that good. I didn't like Louis' last stand-up.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
It was fine. It was a 6.
I think in 2 years Louis C.K. will have a new special. He will get at least $15 million from Netflix.
That's a shame.
I think that I wouldn't even put.
I hope Netflix doesn't give him that bag, but that's a separate conversation.
I think
he needs to put out the first one on his own at least. If he can show, if he does that and then like proves he's still a staying power, then people won't pay him. That's fine. I know he does, but you can't. And I don't want people to give him that green light.
I can't condemn. All right, and this goes back to my new trend. I cannot condemn Louis C.K. As much as everyone else is, and then respect Pryor, because Pryor has a history of beating the shit out of women.
That's
and
fair.
I think he's the man. And I think that, and that's not condoning anything they did. It was shitty acts, but I do think that I gotta give.
So for people who are that good, you're able to separate the art, is what you're saying?
I'm able to separate the art. I'm able to say that Louis C.K. did what he did was years ago. He admitted it. He lost a lot of money. He apologized. I don't think it's a life sentence. I like to see him back in 2 to 3 years and see what he has to say about it. And growth, the growth of a man is in displaying that is more important than giving someone a life sentence. To see how someone can come back from doing shitty stuff, take ownership, talk about it, and lay himself on that cross and allow people to judge it. That is important for human.
Bro.
That's important, man.
That'd be important if that's what happened.
I think that's the only way. He's
You say laying himself on that cross, my nigga, like he got outed.
Yeah,
that's not laying yourself on a cross.
Bad terminology. All right, so let's say just putting yourself on the whipping pole and let yourself displaying your shit, put your shit out there, and
But again, that's my point. He didn't display anything.
Well, he admitted he could have Bill Cosby it and said these people are crazy and I didn't do this shit and prove it.
Sure, he could have, but that just would have looked worse for him. Everybody, as a general rule of thumb, no story that detailed is fully untrue. Agreed? No one's making up a story about you jerking off in a shrub, bro.
Yes, no one's.
So if you come out and deny that, that's a worse look for him. So let's not talk like he's coming out here like, I fucked up in this really big way, and like, yeah, he's taking ownership of it now that he's been outed, but like really taking ownership of it would have addressed this some point before now. Before it gets brought to you.
Well, you had to look at someone who did deny it was like a Jeremy Piven, and so he got accused. He denied everything, and what they were accusing him was similar or worse than what they accused Louis C.K. with, and he's like, no, fuck that. Nope. Didn't do that shit.
Fair. I don't know much about
exactly because he denied. I think the same is Louis C.K. is like, oh. Nope. Who's in the room? I didn't do that.
Also, Louis C.K. and Jeremy Piven are in different places.
They are. Regardless, I think
fair.
I do want to see how he comes back. I do think it's important.
I think he's good enough to come back. I just won't be celebrating the return.
I will.
Enjoy, my man. To your point, like I get it, because to your point about Pryor, like yeah, I mean Pryor's done a lot of shit. Carlin did a lot of shit.
Yeah, I can't be one of those liberals where I'm like, I got it, and I think everyone will.
I don't know about everybody, but I think there'll be enough of an audience that I don't think he gets 20, but I think he gets 12.
All right, mark that down. I think he gets. I say 15 to 20.
I say he makes 12 on his own, and then he gets a bag.
All right, back
so
to
MoNique. So my point being, MoNique is not in this conversation. No, if MoNique got outed as a sexual predator, MoNique is not making a comeback.
No,
is that fair? She's not on that level.
She's not. I don't even understand her what she thought she was gonna get.
So okay, but hear me out then. So justify to me Amy Schumer getting 13. Because that's where it gets weird for me. If Amy Schumer's getting 13 mil and Chris Rock's getting 20, first off, I'm astonished there's only a $7 million gap between those two.
What MoNique said that Netflix says because she sold out Madison Square Garden twice, and she had a.
MoNique was an original queen of comedy. They sold it in arenas all over the fucking country.
But that's not her Dolo. This is a big different comedy.
I guess
that is a big difference.
Okay,
it's a big difference selling out Dolo and selling out when you got 3 or 4 other people on the bill that like. Bill Burr can sell out Madison Square Garden. Like there's limited people that selling out Madison Square Garden Dolo, and MoNique's not selling out Madison. If she did sell it out Dolo, then then she deserves it and have a hit a star in a hit movie. As a lead character.
Okay, so and that's my thing. I think Amy Schumer's star at the moment and at the time when she got that bag, especially she was coming. Yeah,
it's good timing.
Yeah, and that all makes sense.
Not to mention, you have to also look at the other parameters around it. Like Amy Schumer is one of the. If she does something, is immediately on TMZ. I'm guaranteed they're looking at following on social media, all these aspects that are her digital footprint.
I also think part of it is like, how big are you in Netflix's audience? I think that's a big hit for MoNique. Is that I think MoNique's audience is other places. I think MoNique's audience is still on Comedy Central. MoNique's audience is still available on BET, HBO, older schools of media or on very niche parts of media.
Yeah.
I don't think her audience is particularly on Netflix, where Amy Schumer's audience is firmly on Netflix, if nowhere else. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's the issue. She's transcended her audience. Her audience is all over the place. She's a household name. MoNique is not.
Yeah, she's not. It depends what households. Put it that way. You can't put it this way. The same households I think MoNique is a household name in, Amy Schumer is not, and vice versa.
No, I think everyone. I think you go to like any suburb or hood, and be like, yo, you know who Amy Schumer is? Oh, that white bitch from that one movie? Yeah. You go into like the upscale neighborhood. Hey, do you know who MoNique is? Oh,
yeah, but I'm saying if you go where they know MoNique for real, like, cause you can go through the hood and be like, do you know who MoNique is? Niggas will be like, nah. The bitch who play Precious? You know what I mean? That's what you get. You know what I mean? For real though. But then you go find people who like MoNique's audience is like middle class black families between like 30 to 45.
Yeah.
Like that's MoNique's audience, and like. Truth be told, like they're on other streaming services or they're still on cable. A lot of them just are on Netflix, Hulu.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure. And I'm sure.
Side note here: what would you have given Wanda Sykes? Because they cite that in the article. I'm curious, or she tweeted it.
Wanda Sykes. She was in a big show.
Wanda Sykes is big, bro.
Yeah, I think Wanda Sykes. It probably gets probably a couple mil. She doesn't get Amy Schumer money, but I would 1 to 2.
All right, so if she was getting less than $1 million, would it be fair to start looking at some level of race and gender bias like MoNique's talking about?
Nope, unless they got a hit movie that they're starring in, they don't get to say shit. You ask me.
$250,000.
Huh?
That don't seem low for Wanda Sykes to you?
You don't gotta. If you don't have, look, I'm sure there's I'm sure there's analytics that they break down. Like Netflix is no. I think that you have to look at the audience that they're bringing in.
I agree. I'm asking you, can the analytics be biased? People always like this, like point to the analytics, like the analytics take into account all sorts of biases. They don't. If the analytics say that the audience is 95% white, then we're gonna get a lot more white comedians or comedians who appeal to white people, right? And I get why that's the move, but that shows a certain amount of bias.
But no, that can't be.
I'm not saying that's the case for Netflix.
Then why is Chappelle and Chris Rock?
No, I'm just saying. I just said that's my point. It's proven that that's not the analytics. The audience is there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's about. I think it's a number of things. And I don't want to bore the audience with it, but I do think its digital footprint is it's shit they don't have to pay for. Like. If Amy Schumer goes on Twitter and announces, or Instagram announces she has a special out, her new specials is that TMZ's going to go crazy about it. All these articles are going to be written on it because of her last special. Especially if she's in a hit movie. And shit like that.
Also, you keep saying that. I don't who the fuck cares about Amy Schumer anymore?
Well, not anymore. I guarantee if she tries to go back and re-up on that $12 million, it's not there. Because her last special was critically disappointed, and a lot of people were hating on it. It wasn't.
I just don't think she's ever been like. I like her in a lot of things. I just never been particularly fond of her stand-up.
But that Trainwreck movie was funny.
No, I think she's a good actress. I just don't like her as a stand-up.
It has so much steam. That's all you need. They don't have to do. You have a hit movie. It's like, dude, we can toss this. They don't. Netflix don't even care. They know they can re-up.
All right,
it's a dope movie.
We'll put a ball on this. Find me a black comedian, two ends in an E, who also has a hit movie, who then got stubbed by Netflix, and we'll talk. Side note, maybe that's the problem. Yeah. It'd be great if we had, like a funny female lead in any of the things.
Well, it's Tiffany. I guarantee you, Tiffany had it.
She'd get the bag on Netflix.
She would get the bag.
Yeah, you dead ass on that.
She's hot.
Tiffany Haddish would get the guapo.
Issa Rae, she decided to do stand-up.
I'm curious how her stand-up is.
I've never seen her do stand-up, but
I've heard she did. I don't know if
I think she.
I love her writing though.
Yeah, I think she gets the bag. She's hot right now.
Fair warning to everybody, by the way, we will be covering Insecure episode by episode when season 3 comes out. So get ready for y'all.
No doubt.
Is there anything else we need to talk about? Star is on Everyday Struggle now.
Okay, we'll give her. We're at almost an hour, so let's give a quick rundown on it. Star's an old school shock jock. He's like the black asshole version of Howard Stern. The chemistry right now is terrible. All he did was attack academics the whole time. It just didn't seem. I felt uncomfortable watching.
The whole thing feels brand new again, and it not in a good way.
Yeah,
they tried to reboot the show, and the whole thing just feels like plastic.
Well, Academics was like, yeah, this. I feel like this is how him and Joe started the first episode. He thinks that it's gonna get better. At least he hopes. I actually thought it was a good move to have Star on there because Star is unfiltered. He's gonna completely destroy fuckery and hip hop or his music in general if he sees it. I like him on some platform to call out bullshit. I don't know if I like him on this show. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, I like Star in general. I think Star and Buckwild is like one of those, there's a lot of shows. It's funny because like I didn't experience them because media was so local then, what I mean? Like when you hear about the Stretch and Bobitos of the world, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, like I hear legends. I've seen some YouTube clips with like recordings and like, people would share tapes with me back in the day and shit. But like I don't know any of that shit like that. But that was just like a whole different era, and like it's interesting to see the meshing of those two eras, but I don't think either of these two dudes are the dudes to do it for their respective eras. And the whole thing just feels corny to me.
I'm gonna give them
Complex. If you want to give us a show, by all means, I'll tell you right now, I'll be happy to do it.
Your boy.
And I'll do all that plastic fake shit. But I don't think what you're doing is working.
I'm gonna reserve judgment for the next 2-3 episodes, and then I will be back with whether there's life in this or we're just gonna put the nail in the coffin and holler at Revolt, get with Diddy, get back with Joe.
There you go.
And
all right, last thing on that, by the way, because I know we were touching on the MoNique thing, and just while we're in the world of stand-up, Cosby doing stand-up again?
Creepy Cosby, just go sit down somewhere.
Who's going? Like, where is he playing? Is he playing like clubs? Is he playing like arenas?
Black people going.
Niggas, we gotta do better, my fam. Come on.
There's a large.
I implore y'all. If your skin is darker than a paper bag, you cannot go see Cosby. If your skin is lighter than a paper bag, you probably shouldn't have gone in the first place.
There's a large audience that does not feel that Cosby is guilty in the African American community. I assume, and I don't have these stats, but I assume there's still enough people who don't, in African American and minority culture, that does not feel like Cosby is guilty. And he hasn't been convicted. Everything that he went to trial, and it was, so I think he's still, gonna, people still out and see him. I guarantee he sells out.
Where did he do his first show, or has he not done it yet?
I just heard this, so I don't think he's done a show yet.
Okay,
but I think he's gonna do it.
Salute to brave souls who go to one of those shows. I hope terrible things happen.
Side note: I was listening to Macaulay Culkin.
That was a good choice.
Mark Maron.
Yeah.
And
I've actually been looking forward to listening to that.
It was interesting. He dodged a lot, and I don't think he was completely honest about he didn't divulge what the audience wanted to know. It's like, you were obviously went off the rails for a little bit, and we want to know about that.
A long time.
He would not admit to it. He's like, no, once I left there, I just went about my life. I drank, I smoked, I hung out, and then Maron's like, hey, well, did you hit a wall at any point? Did anything go, did it go bad? Because everyone thinks it went bad. He's like, no. And
I mean, maybe to him it didn't. I don't know. I'm not in his head, but
he looked bad every time we saw him.
He looks bad all the time.
But no, he looks like he looks like,
I don't listen to shit, never watch it. So
I just saw a picture of him, and he looks like a normal 37-year-old.
Good for him.
And he seems normal. He seems like he got his shit together. But anyone can seem normal for an hour and a half conversation, I guess. But okay, the reason why I brought him up is because Maron asked him about Michael Jackson in this relationship.
Yeah, because they were tight for a minute.
Yeah, he said there was for a period of 8 years or so. That was his best friend, and he didn't say. He's like, no, man. It's like, Maron asked him, did things get weird? He's like, no, man. Mike was kind of a child at heart.
I think so with Macaulay, though. That's probably why they got along.
And that's why Mike reached out, because he saw another child star who wouldn't probably have a childhood, and he reached out to him. They bonded, and he's like, no, none of that. I never experienced any of that. And so I think
that's my whole theory on like him thinking like you said, like I was just drinking, smoking, chilling with my friends, whatever, hanging out, and like I don't think he like. I'm reflecting on points in my life when I was just drinking, smoking, chilling out. Those some of like I have some happy memories there. Now I also have some terrible memories because I realized how stagnant my life was. But if my life was always in go mode, and then I had like a 4 or 5 year span where I was just chilling, like all my memories were just fucking like falling asleep on the beach, like fucking surfing with my friends, fucking smoking blunts, like that would have been dope. Like I could get where like that's cool for him, and like so Macaulay Culkin, if that's his life now.
The reason why I brought that up was because when he said that, like I believed him about Mike that he didn't experience, and so everything I was like, I don't know about Mike.
The more and more people bring it up, the less and less I feel confident in knowing that Mike was weird.
And I just don't know. And so like when we bring that over, I think there's and regardless, and I'm not saying I don't. It's hard to argue with that many women. I think I think Cosby was on some creep shit. And I think
Crosby committed at least enough crimes that he should have been in jail for the rest of his current life.
Yes. And but I think the same I don't know about Mike. There's a large majority of African Americans who are like, no, man, they setting Cosby up.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely people who believe that. I mean, to be fair, there's still people who think OJ is innocent.
True.
And like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So that actually gets us into our last top five. We run a little over anyway.
Yeah.
We're gonna do top 5 conspiracy theories you believe in. One of the I had on my list was OJ.
Oh, okay.
However, I also just realized that the Oscars is coming up. Should we do Oscar predictions in our top 5?
Oh man, I don't know.
Instead of conspiracy theories next week. When are the Oscars? Is that this week or next?
I don't know. I'm not
doing. All right, then we'll do conspiracy theories because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. I will say, hey, the campaign for Get Out for Best Picture starts right fucking here. I don't know if anyone who listens to this podcast has a vote or voting is still a thing or whatever, but fucking Get Out is nominated for Best Picture, and I can't imagine anything else winning. I haven't seen most of these other movies, but I haven't seen a movie get talked about or like lived through like Get Out was in maybe my lifetime.
I saw 3 billboards. That was dope.
Yeah, I want to see that. That sounds good. I want to see the post, even though I heard it shouldn't be an Oscar winner.
I haven't seen it.
And I want to see Lady Bird. Everyone I know who's seen Lady Bird told me it was the best movie they saw all year. That being said, I think when you talk about the best picture of the year, Get Out was a movie experience.
Yeah.
And I haven't had people tell me I had to go see the movie in theaters about pretty much anything other than like an action or war movie.
Yeah.
In pretty much the age of the HDMI cable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I started getting HD in my house and movie tickets became $15, I'll pretty much stop seeing most shit in theaters.
Yeah. I'll have to I'll have to check the other movies before I put it on Get Out, but Get Out was good.
Get Out was my shit. I don't know. It was such a now moment. That being said, Lady Bird apparently is unbelievable. I've been listening to interviews with the cast and the directors pretty much all week, and it's really fascinating stuff. I'm excited to go see it. So check out both those. Let us know what you think should win. Our last top 5, your top 5 conspiracy theories that you still believe in, regardless of what other people are going to tell you.
Alrighty. I think... Are we doing each 5?
No, we're doing combined 5.
Okay, cool.
Because I definitely do not have 5.
Okay.
I have 4.
Okay, I do think that going on Area 51, UFOs, I do think that we have found UFOs and alien life. I think it has affected technical advances in human society. And I think I'm gonna double down and say within the next 10 years, the government will shine some more, give us some more information on that.
Can I take that a step further?
Yeah, go ahead.
On my list, I should point out, these are conspiracy theories that I'm 75-25 on. I don't fully believe anything, but I'm at least convinced that these could be real, and I'm waiting for more proof before I rule them out. Some of them I do believe to actually be true. I think there's aliens legitimately among the current population.
I think that's maybe true.
I think looking at the evolution of man, at the very least, there's another species of human that we've evolved to that lives among us currently, and I think that quite possibly could also be some sort of other planet's life form that came here. So I don't rule that out. So I guess I'll loop that in with you. I will take a... Do you want to take a step deeper down the rabbit hole or a step further back into the real world? With number 2.
Oh, yeah, go wherever you want to go.
All right. I genuinely believe, from the experiences I've had and the conversations I've had with people who've done extensive psychedelic drugs, that there truly is a separation of soul and body, and that you can have actual out-of-body experiences with the right combination of chemicals. I'm not willing to explore that because I think that's a really dangerous game to play, but I'm pretty convinced that you can do it, and I'm fascinated by the stories I hear from people who cross that line.
All right, that's number 2?
That's 2. I believe it is possible to cross, what are the fucking line, what do they call that? I don't know. Planes?
Yeah, dimensions?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we can even go as...
You can cross between dimensions in a single life. How do you like that? Boom.
Yeah.
Bars. 3.
I think we may be living in a simulation.
Oh, like some real Matrix shit? Bro, I think about that all the time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's weird for how little we have in common, how seriously like linked our conspiracies are.
Exactly.
What makes you think that? Not to go crazy, we gotta keep this within 5 minutes as promised, but for those who don't know, we do last 5, top 5 every episode. It's the last 5 minutes of the show. Top 5 of whatever the fuck we're talking about, we keep it within 5 minutes.
Just from like the smartest people in the world have like long lectures on this, and just from what I've read from them, it would be impossible to tell whether we were living in a simulation or not in a simulation. The growth we've advanced in like just gaming alone it's almost to the point where it's gonna be unrecognizable between reality and what is the game and virtual reality. And I think we could easily have already achieved this, and we live in one huge cycle.
I'm not sure I buy in completely on that, but I definitely buy into the possibility of it being in the future.
Oh, I don't buy into any of this shit. These are just things that could possibly...
These are things you're supposed to believe.
I wouldn't put money on this stuff, but I think it could be very possible. Is the reason why it's a conspiracy is because like I think it's probably possible, but I don't know.
Let me give you one I will actually put money on.
All right.
There's JFK assassination. There was 2
That's
shooters.
something.
Facts.
Yes, and I don't think Oswald was it. I tried to find his name. Oswald was it? Yeah. I don't think he shot him. I think there was. I think he was set up. It was between the government and the mob. Not the particular members in the government, the mob, and I think they both wanted him dead, and they got it done. And I think
too many people had an interest in him dying for that to have been a lone shooter for no real reason. Yep,
exactly. And there was a lot of sketchy shit. Just tons of. I've went down rabbit holes on this whole thing. Yeah. And the people who were in Dallas that randomly shouldn't be, like Bush Senior.
Oh, he's not that considered. I mean, he's from Texas.
Woody Harrelson's dad, who was a known assassin. Just a lot of things that go on, and I'll stack that on top of this, and this can either be our 5 or you can add another one.
No, I got my
I don't think that the person who they convicted that shot MLK, I don't think that he actually did it. And I was listening to an interview from Judge Joe Brown, who was the last
Joe Brown. That's just so stuck.
Well, he was one of the last judges to be on that case before the
not like TV show Judge Joe Brown.
That judge, he was working.
He was on the MLK assassination case.
Yeah, he was one of the last.
I hope y'all hung on to listen to the last episode of this podcast because that's a gem. I did not know. Yeah,
he was one of the last people to be involved in. I think it was an appeal or something like that. And he was like. And he got killed, but he was like, we were about to find him not guilty based on the evidence, and he was murdered.
James O'Ray was?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Shit, that's a great one to end on.
Yeah.
I've heard some sketchy things about like how Martin Luther King was killed, but I did not know, first and foremost, that Judge Joe Brown was the judge on that case.
Yeah.
No wonder that never got figured out. Salute to Judge Joe Brown. I actually had a neighbor who was on Judge Joe Brown. No bullshit.
Yeah. Look up if you guys are listening to it, well, obviously you're listening to this, so you hear my voice. But there's an interview on YouTube with Judge Joe Brown. He explains it all. Just search Judge Joe Brown, MLK assassination.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna check out fucking Lady Bird. I got a couple other content things I gotta check out this week.
Motherfucker got some jewels.
Speaking of things to check out this week, where can we find you, Sir Mr. Chris Allen? You're gonna be on stage a few places.
Hopefully you'll listen to this early enough, but on Thursday, the 25th, I will be at Southbridge at Starlights doing a show.
So pretty Mashler Island.
That is in Southbridge. It's like Western Mass.
Okay.
Fall River. I will be there on Friday for Comedy for a Cause at Dunny's Saloon. On the 27th, I will be at Six Gear Cast. That's Saturday. I think that's in South Boston. On Sunday, February 4th, I'll be at the Improv. And that's all I got for right now.
All right. Well, as always, you know where to find us. It's at _Late2Work on Twitter. It's Late2Work with the numeral 2 everywhere else. If you want to shoot us an email, you got questions, you got comments, you want to tell us to go fuck ourselves, whatever you want to do, it's Late2WorkPodcast@gmail.com. Also, please be a gem, subscribe, rate, fucking drop us some stars, tell us we suck, whatever you want to do. But help us out in the iTunes store, help us get out to a couple other places, trying to expand that reach a little bit. So by all means, if you have it in you, drop us a couple lines, let us know what you like, what you hate, yada yada yada. Follow us everywhere if you want to hear more of us. We'll be on more platforms the more you tell us to. Hopefully we'll be on Spotify in a couple of weeks if everything shakes out our way.
Dope.
Fingers crossed. And aside from that, I don't have much. You got anything else you want to add?
That's it.
Alright. As always, don't be a dickhead, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out.
I love a boss bitch making moves. Yeah, the type to buy her own fucking shoes. Yeah, I love the ones that make money moves. While you at it, cop a nigga something. Yeah, she probably working angels on a Monday, yeah. Hustling all the stylers on a Tuesday, yeah. Taking flights to LA on a